You're not a product of your circumstances. You're a product of your decisions. At the end of the day, it's your decision making that is going to hold you back or propel you forward to success in life. Go out and be great. Be humble, have faith in God, and have faith in yourself. And you're going to go a long way. What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to this week's installment of The Lake Show. Now, I apologize for not posting last week. Work picked up a lot for me, so I didn't have the proper time to create a good and quality episode like I pride myself on doing, so I appreciate all of you being patient with me on that. Also, another update, this is my first YouTube episode, so I'm very happy to start on a new platform as well. So thank you all to all the listeners out there who, with the continued support, I really hope that we can grow this channel to be one of the biggest on YouTube and one of the biggest podcasts in the world. So I'm aiming high, and you have to have your goals set high. But another update, I will only be posting once every 2 weeks for the duration of the summer because my work hours are increasing. And I know for a fact I'm not going to have all the time in the world to create a good quality episode like I really want to. So I'm asking you all to bear with me. I promise that every episode from now on will be on time and it'll be good in quality, okay? So what are we gonna talk about today? Well, there's a lot of pressure that goes on in our lives. None of us really understand why we feel so anxious or so depressed all the time. So today I'm going to be talking about 5 pressures that we face in society today, and I'm going to talk a little bit about how to handle all the pressure when anxiety and depression hit you. So without further ado, let's get started. So number 1, the pressure of success and failure. Now this is very cut and dry for some people out there. A lot of people think success means you have millions of dollars in the bank account. You can go and do whatever the hell you want, whenever the hell you want. So I say that's one way of looking at it. But there's one thing I've learned is you have to define what success is to you. For a while, it's kind of funny actually, because when I was younger, my brother would always ask a certain family member of mine, "Are you rich?" And he would always say, "Define rich," which, you know, it got me thinking because, you know, my family member, my uncle, he does really well for himself, being a business owner and everything. So it got me thinking that you really have to put success and failure into perspective. Now, I feel like failure is way more cut and dry than success, because failure, you can really think of anything as a failure. You're not doing good in school, you can consider that a failure. Not meeting your own expectations by a certain time, you can consider that a failure. But at the same time, when it comes to success, I feel like everyone has to define that in their own way, and everybody finds that in their own time, and you have to define what it is for you. And for me, success has always been, for a while, I really wanted, millions of dollars in the bank account at such a young age to where I don't have to worry about money ever again. I don't have to work for anyone. I can just be myself, do whatever the hell I want, whenever I want. But as I've grown and matured, that was a real, early to mid-teens mindset that I had a while back. But now, success to me means, while the money would be great, as long as I'd be able to support a family and still have money left over to do what I want whenever I want, I consider that a success. But a lot of people out there still think that success is not so cut and dry. So you got to put yourself in other people's shoes almost because there's a lot of successful people out there that started from nothing. And one thing that I always preach to everyone is you have to start somewhere. It's not gonna all come together all at once. It may for some people, but for the majority of people out there, success comes in time and you have to be patient with it. So, for example, you got guys like Warren Buffett, very successful man, net worth of $77 billion. Maybe a lot of people don't know, his first job, he started as a newspaper delivery boy. Another person, Oprah Winfrey, net worth of $2.5 billion. She was a grocery store clerk for a while. Bill Gates, we all know who Bill Gates is. He was a Harvard dropout and a computer programmer, and now he has $100 billion of net worth. And then one final person that comes to mind is Jeff Bezos. Obviously the head of Amazon, the biggest retailer in the entire world, with $110 billion net worth. Yeah, he was a McDonald's cook for a long time. So when people stress out and really worry too much about success, I'm one of those people. For a long time, I wanted it now. I didn't want to wait because I didn't have discipline and I didn't have patience. But the good things in life come to people who are patient and those who wait. It's very important for you to learn that at such a young age, because the quicker you can learn that, the better off you'll be in the long run. From my experience, I wouldn't say I'm a failure, but I would definitely not say I have been totally successful yet. Obviously, I want all the money in the world because that's just something I want. I want to be financially free the rest of my life. And one day I truly believe working hard, I'll still be able to achieve that. But I have had successes along the way to being a successful person. For me, I haven't been the greatest student in college, at least up until recently. So I considered myself a failure in that aspect as a student. Sometimes I considered myself a failure as a person. But in reality, all of us psych ourselves out and we really make big deals out of things that have no impact on you, at least in this moment of time. We worry too much about the bumps in the roads. We don't focus on the here and nows a lot. So that's the first pressure that I would say all of us, at least in my generation, face. Because we constantly look on social media, we see young kids. You can think back to when TikTok really blew up. You can think of the D'Amelios, you can think of Bryce Hall, you can think of any one of these young, probably 21 years old by now, 20, I don't even know, and don't care. But at the end of the day, we all grew up through COVID. We went through COVID where we were stuck in our rooms all day, stuck in the house, unable to do anything. So what do? We scroll through TikTok. What do we see? Mansion, Lamborghini, Bugatti, doesn't matter what. And I guarantee you almost all of us have always pictured us doing that or having that kind of lifestyle at such a young age. Because if you think about it, they don't have to work again for the rest of their lives. As long as they're smart with their money, of course. But we've all been there. We've all thought about success and failure. And I feel like a lot of people put failure above success a hell of a lot more just because they're not rich. But for me, like I said, I don't consider myself such a successful person, but I feel like I'm on the right track to be one of the most successful people because I learned how to change my mindset. I learned how to change the way I approach things. I learned different tips and tricks and techniques just from sitting back and observing others, friends, family. Success isn't so cut and dry. When you really sit back and think about it, how do you define success? And like I said before, success in my eyes is being able to support a family and still being able to do what I want when I want, whenever I want. So I'll consider that my definition of success. Time to move on to our the second pressure that we face in society today that maybe not a lot of people think about is the pressure of picking sides. Now, what do I mean about this? Well, if you think I'm going to go on a political rant, I'm not going to, but it is no secret that politics have really ruined this country, and it's brought it to a breaking point, I would say. It doesn't matter what side you're on, we're all Americans, and I think that's something that has been lost, at least in this generation or in this day and age. Nobody can have an opinion anymore without offending someone. But at the end of the day, we're all Americans. We're all in this together. This is our country. So I feel like obviously the election's coming up next year. Those for Trump, they're going to be for Trump. Those for Biden, they're going to be for Biden. And plenty of people know who I'm going to vote for. I'm not going to mention his name. But at the same time, I feel like too many people nowadays scrutinize others for the decisions, for their ideologies. A lot of people don't respect others' opinions anymore. Not saying that people used to openly disrespect your opinions, because I'm sure it's happened. At least in my experience, it has happened. I've been scrutinized for, what I believe in as far as policy-wise, or what I believe in morally according to a certain political party. I've been scrutinized for how I orient myself with the political landscape. But at the end of the day, I feel like all of us, it doesn't really matter. Obviously, we all think it matters when the election happens, because that's going to determine a bunch of things that will happen in the future of America. But as far as being able to accept one another for their opinions and their beliefs, I feel like that's lost in this generation. So, obviously, me talking, you guys can understand that I am more of a Republican than I am a Democrat. But here's the difference between me and a lot of other people. And I know there are people out there like me who really hate politics and really don't like talking about it. But sometimes you get put in positions where for me, I'm always open and honest about it, but I respect other people's opinions and beliefs. At the end of the day, I don't need to agree with them. I don't even need to like them. But no matter what it is, it's your opinion, you're entitled to it, so I'm going to respect it. There's no reason for me to scrutinize just because you believe in something one way and I believe in something a different way. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Nobody should influence you on how you orient yourself with the political landscape or picking sides, quote unquote. So, in my opinion, that's another pressure that we as a society face today. We're going to move on to the third one. Pressure of finances. Now, I know for a fact that everyone out there has had to struggle with money at one point or another, especially when you're a spender like me. My parents love to tell me that money burns a hole in my pocket, and it kind of does. Sometimes I spend my money on useless things that benefit me in no way, shape, or form. One thing I can think of is, I think I told this story before, but I wanted to reminisce in the good old days. I'm big on PlayStation, I'm big on Xbox, gaming consoles. I don't play as much as I used to, but I still do every now and then. So over Christmas break, I bought an old PlayStation 2 because it's the only way I can play NCAA 06 again, the last great college football game. So I wanted to reminisce in the good old days of what I grew up with. But now, looking back on it, it sits on a shelf and collects dust. I couldn't tell you the last time I touched that thing. Honestly, I'll probably end up using it again. I mean, it's a good console that plenty of collectors would probably like to take it from me and, a couple years down the line. But as far as I'm concerned, it was a useless purchase because it just sits on the shelf and does nothing for me. Has no monetary value and no way of bringing me more income. So I honestly think that was the most useless purchase I probably ever made, at least in more recent memory. But it is what it is. You live and you learn. But the problem is we all want money, but a lot of us don't know where to start. The ultimate goal, if you really want millions of dollars in the bank, one thing to keep in mind is that the rich don't work for money, they have their money work for them. Passive income is the best possible income you can receive. But a lot of us don't know where to start. There's tons and tons of passive income ideas out there: affiliate marketing, TikTok creator fund, YouTube. It doesn't matter what it is. Renting out apartments, renting out houses. There's plenty of things out there that'll generate passive income, but I feel like a lot of people don't know what steps to take. And even for me, I'm still learning on how I can make more money and how I can use whatever assets I have to benefit me in the long run, because one of my ultimate goals is to be financially free, as I said before, and I don't want to punch someone else's clock for the rest of my life. It takes a lot of time and a lot of effort to really know everything there is to know about finances. And for the past four or 5 months, I've been taking notes every morning. I'll usually go to Stone Fruit, where I'm recording right now. Great coffee, by the way. Definitely stop in if you've never been here before. It's the best. But typically I find myself in the mornings going to Stone Fruit. Doesn't matter if I'm on ChatGPT, it doesn't matter if I'm watching Andrew Tate videos sometimes, at least on the money aspect of his wealth. It doesn't matter if I'm watching something on Warren Buffett, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Robert Kiyosaki. It doesn't matter. I'm learning from financial gurus who know what they're doing with their money. So I try to consume as much knowledge as I can throughout the day by day, week by week, month by month, and so on. I try to put myself in a better position mentally to where I can really understand, okay, is this purchase good for me? Is this bad for me? A lot of people spend money like crazy and don't care about the consequences. Maybe you want to go out and buy a new laptop. Well, you got rent at the end of the month. Is it worth it? Missing a month's rent for a new shiny laptop? No. A lot of people find themselves in constant pressure to keep up with their finances, and I think that's mainly because a lot of people aren't financially literate enough. And I wouldn't consider myself fully financially literate, because there's still so much out there to learn about money and finances in general. So I'm going to continue to learn, I'm going to continue to grow, and I'm going to continue to work. That's all anyone can do. We're going to move on to number 4, pressure of college. Now, I know for a fact that most of my viewers are in college or have attended college in the past or are currently enrolled. We all know that college is not easy. I'll never forget that the day I left high school, I'm telling myself that college is going to be a breeze. College is going to be so easy. It's going to be just like high school. That was the furthest thing from the truth. But another thing that is really troublesome, that people really stress out about college, is you're expected to know what you want to do the rest of your life at 18 and 19 years old. I don't think any of us are meant to do that. You're not meant to know what you want to do at 18 years old and 19 years old. You have to learn to grow. You have to learn to evolve. You have to get out. You have to meet people. You just have to grow as a person. You're too immature at 18 and 19 to really decide what you want to do the rest of your life. Now, I'm sure, a lot of people stick with one thing throughout college, and they go on to do that. That's no problem. I commend all those who are able to figure that out so quickly, what they want to do, whether that be marketing, business admin, financing, nursing, criminal justice. I applaud all those who pick the program they want from the start and stick with it and end up loving it. For me, I started off as a nursing major, kind of crazy, but I thought about being a physical therapist before, I thought about being a chiropractor before, but I realized that there is no way I was able to do it. Now, my parents and a lot of my family members say you could have done it if you applied yourself, and they're kind of right, but the problem was I was in an 18 and 19-year-old mindset. I didn't know how to take college serious. I didn't know how to take class serious whatsoever. I couldn't have cared less about showing up to class, showing up to any lectures, taking notes. My first probably year and a half of college, I don't think I wrote down a single note. Sorry, Mom. Sorry, Dad. But it's the truth. I didn't really care because I thought it was just going to be like high school. Turns out that was one of the worst decisions I could have ever made. College is tough. But for all those who do stress about it, put your situation into perspective, really. You got so much time left, you're learning, you have the opportunity to get an education. You don't have to have it all figured out right then and there. You have time on your side. That's why we go to college, to learn, to get an education. The best thing I got out of college was meeting new people and really learning how to become a better me, because I didn't know what I wanted to do. But once I started hanging around different people, getting to know them, getting to know what their goals are, what their dreams are, I kind of fed off that a little bit. You feed off others' intentions, I would say, or others' goals and aspirations. For me, just seeing all of it, learning and growing as I go, it was eye-opening, that's for sure. But a lot of people don't know what they want to do anymore. A lot of people feel like that college is worthless. I'm not going to go as far as to say that college is worthless. I'm happy I'm able to get an education. I know I'm more fortunate than a lot of people out there, so I'm grateful for the opportunity. There's no doubt that the education system needs work and improvement, college being one of them. And I think the biggest issue that everyone faces going into college is really trying to figure out who they are as a person. You have to figure out who you are first before you figure out what you want to do the rest of your life. Are you a people person? Do you like to be more to yourself? You need to learn so many different skills going into college before you can make a decision on what you want to do the rest of your life. And like I said before, it's not everyone who does that. Some people have it together. Some people know what they want to do. Some people get it right off the rip. But at the end of the day, it does not matter because you have time on your side. For me, I finally found my calling about 2 years ago. Really, as a junior, I would say. I finally settled down in marketing because I love the business world. I love everything about it. Now, there's some bad apples in businesses wherever you go. Business makes the world go round. Money makes the world go round. No matter what, you're always going to need businessmen to keep the world running. That's really why I stuck with marketing. It's because not only do I enjoy it, I enjoy the interactions with people. I enjoy the rush, almost, like to promote different products or brands. Like I really get excited about doing that sort of stuff. projects and presentations are easy and a breeze for me now because I learn to grow and evolve. You learn better communication skills. You learn so much in college. That's why I'm not going to go as far as to say you should not go to college. But I'm not going to tell you to go to college because sometimes it's just not for everyone. Like I said before, I was on the cusp of dropping out at a 1.2 GPA. I fought tooth and nail to get back to a 2.75, and I'm looking to graduate in December this year. So it takes a lot of hard work. You have to do what's right for you. Is college the best fit or not? And nobody should scrutinize you if you choose either way. But that's definitely a pressure that a lot of young kids face nowadays, is whether they actually want to attend college or go straight into the workforce. It's up to you. Just do what's best for you in the end. So the fifth and final pressure I'm going to talk about is the pressure of mental health. This is something I know all too well, honestly. I've been open and honest about my battle with anxiety and depression over the past couple years. Again, no fault of anyone but mine. The problem is, if you're too anxious, you're looking too far into the future. And if you're really depressed, you're looking too far into the past. You're hanging on to it. I learned to live in the here and now. I take everything step by step, day by day. I don't let myself get overwhelmed anymore by what could have happened in the past or what has happened to me in the past. I don't get caught up on that anymore because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Take everything that has happened to you before as a lesson to grow, to evolve, and become a better you. And it's really sad to see that a lot of people out there struggle with this. It's a really touchy subject for me. I really feel for anyone who goes through anything like depression or anxiety. It's like a weight on your chest. You don't want to get up, you don't want to do anything. I think depression is really wanting to go out and be productive, but physically just don't have it in you to go out and do anything. Don't want to see people, don't want to talk to anyone. And I was like that for a long time. I isolated myself from a lot of people. It's none of their faults. It's all my own because everything was all in my mind. A lot of people are overthinkers in this world, but all of you who are overthinkers really need to step back, take a deep breath, put your life into perspective. Where are you at and what do you have going for you right now? My experience, I feel like I finally have woken up with a purpose, day in and day out. I know what my purpose is now. This podcast has honestly changed my life in a way because it gives me something to look forward to in the mornings. I get up, I get excited to go and record. Now, I'm not the best at it. It's going to take time for me to really get this down. Honestly, it's kind of weird looking into a camera right now and just talking to myself. But you live and you learn. Everyone needs to learn to relax and stop overthinking. There's too many people out here who are too hung up on what has happened to them. They feel like they can't move on from anything ever, but that's not the case. I know plenty of people who get hung up on certain situations because of stuff that has happened to them in the past, but at the same time, you can't shelter yourself. You can't bottle everything up, because at the end of the day, you're gonna just explode and be on a hamster wheel of emotions, and it's gonna be very hard to pull yourself out of it. Learn to let go of the past. Look forward to the future, but not too far into the future where you're getting anxious. That's what I've been doing sort of recently, because obviously I know what I want in life and I don't know how to get it yet, but I learned to take it day by day. I feel like I'm on the right path, so I'm gonna stick to my plan. and that's to grow this channel and graduate college and be able to support a family and be able to do whatever I want whenever I want. So now I'm going to talk about how I handle pressure in the world, how I handle different situations when the anxiety or when the depression comes back up. Well, one thing that has been real life changing for me is faith. I can't understate how much going to church again has uplifted me in a way. It's kind of crazy because I've been open and honest about me going to therapy. I think there was something missing in my life. I didn't know what it was. For a long time, it was, I feel like I have a purpose, but I don't know what to do about it. I'm not making any money. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing good in school. I'm not doing that, the other. It didn't matter what I did. I felt like I wasn't going anywhere. I felt like there was one part of the puzzle that was missing for me. And honestly, the best thing I ever did was start going back to church. Old North in Canfield, Ohio. It's such a nice church and beyond welcoming to me and to everyone. I'm very happy that my friend asked to go with me next week because I know that it does a whole world of good. I think about my favorite quote in the Bible, Philippians 4-13, I can do all things through Christ which strengthen me. I put my faith in Christ. I put my faith into God. I know He has a plan for me. That's one of the reasons why I don't stress out anymore, is because, okay, this is meant to happen. I know for a fact I'm on a path. I'm going to stick to it to the letter. Now, obviously I haven't been the best in my religion. A lot of people would know that about me, but I've definitely been better, and I'm definitely going to continue to do it because it made me feel whole, and it made me wake up with a sense of happiness that I haven't felt in 5 years. So faith is a powerful one. For those of you who struggle with any sort of anxiety, depression, or face any pressure in your life right now, I highly recommend, if you are religious or grew up religious, to really give it a push. Start going more and really think about the message that is said to you. Other things that I do to handle pressure and anxiety and stress is go to the gym. Everyone who knows me knows I'm in the gym 5 days a week, no matter what. I'm never going to take a week off from the gym. The only time I did in the past couple months was because I went on spring break to Fort Lauderdale. Even so, I still did push-ups and sit-ups. So it's obviously not what I really like to do, but I'm more into weight training. But it's very important to go to the gym to get healthy, because in my opinion, a healthy body is a healthy mind. The more you look good to yourself, the more you're going to feel good. The more prosperous you can be. You feel more motivated. You feel more disciplined. And that's one thing that a lot of people don't get, is that it takes discipline. If fitness is one of your goals right now, to become more fit, whether it's bigger, stronger, or just more aesthetically pleasing, it takes discipline. You don't need motivation for that. You just need discipline and consistency. No amount of motivation is going to get you out of bed. I know plenty of people who are motivated. Plenty of people say all the right things, think all the right things, but they don't go out and do it. You can have all the motivation in the world. For a while, I was that person. I had all the motivation in the world. The 2 a.m. hits you. You really want to change your life around. Anybody ever feel that? You're just alone in your thoughts, and then at 2 a.m. randomly, you just think, I'm going to get my life together doing this, this, and that. Well, motivation only goes so far. You have to learn discipline and consistency. And that's one of the things that I've been learning. Another thing I do is hang out with my family and my friends. They're my rock. They're the ones who keep me sane. I've surrounded myself with good people. Sure, we butt heads every now and then, but a little conflict never hurt anyone. As a matter of fact, conflict isn't, I think, a necessary component to grow and evolve. So it don't matter who your friends are. Well, unless they are a detriment to your health or your safety, then definitely get out. But surround yourself with good people. You're going to reap the benefits of that. And I know for a fact that I have done that. Love all my friends, love my family. You know, I couldn't ask for anybody better to help propel me through life. Last two things that I'm going to talk about today to handle pressure. Read. You'd be surprised at how knowledgeable you feel after reading a book. Anybody who knows me knows I hate reading to its core. I think it's worthless. It's not at all. So those of you out there who hate reading, pick up a book and start reading. For me, I do all financial literacy books. Like I said before in previous episodes, Robert Kiyosaki's book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, The Way of the Wolf by Jordan Belfort. And I know there's tons and tons of books out there that relate to me and what I want to achieve in my life. So I highly recommend whatever interests you. Maybe it's gym, maybe it is finances, maybe it's something else. I highly recommend going to a bookstore, pick out an interesting book that deals with that topic. You'll thank me later. One last thing that I do to handle pressure, it's simple. I have a purpose, what I want, and I know for a fact my faith is strong enough to where I believe God has given me a purpose again. Made me realize what I really want to do in my life. What I want to achieve. It's given me a sense of discipline and consistency and determination. Because without any of that stuff, I feel like you just live life through the motions, not really caring. And I don't understand people who just go with the flow and just say, whatever happens, it happens. It's like, no, go out and get what you're worth. What do you want in life? There's no point in just going through the motions if you don't have a purpose. And for some people, you may not know what that is. You may not know what your purpose is. But trust me, it comes to everyone in time. I've been searching for a purpose for 5, close to 6 years. It just recently started hitting me. What I want to do in my life, what do I want to achieve? I feel rejuvenated almost as an individual. I wake up in a good mood no matter what, because nothing people can say or do will keep me from going out and achieving what I want. You all need a purpose, and one day you're gonna find it. May take a long time. Maybe you find it out tomorrow. But I know for a fact that everyone out there has a purpose. Go out and get what you're worth. Go out and go achieve your dreams. I'd like to thank you all for tuning in this week on The Lake Show. Again, my first YouTube episode. Don't judge me too hard on it. It's my first time going with this, so thanks again for tuning in. I'll be back in 2 weeks. I'm your host, Dominic Lako. God bless.